Alright, hey guys, today the topic of interest is how to stop caring what other people think. So in this video I'll be sharing practical ways with you to overcome the opinions of other people. So originally this was actually a video request that somebody made a while ago, about a year ago or so, on one of my old videos. But at the time I couldn't give an answer to that because I cared what other people thought, right? So it made no sense for me to make a video because I'm still wearing the same shackles, bro, you know what I'm saying? I'm still in chains. But I feel like I'm in a place now where I can actually give you a really good grounded answer. So bro, if you're still watching, I hope you are, because it's for you, man. You know what I'm saying? Did for you. So let's get started. So the first point I want to make is this, is that the reason that we have such a hard time of letting go of other people's thoughts or the opinions of other people is because we've been conditioned in a way to care what other people think. So you have to understand that. So all our lives, we rarely ever make decisions on our own. We're always making decisions based on the feedback or the opinions of other people. So as a child, when you're growing up, you're always asking for permission, right? You're always asking your parents, oh, can I go outside today? Can I hang out with my friends? Or mom, can I go to the mall? Mom, can I have a lollipop? Mom, can I have some ice cream? Always asking for permission. And then as you get older, you start asking for permission or advice or opinions from your peers or your friends. So you start asking your friends like, oh, what should I text this guy to make him like me? Or what should I wear today? What should I do for my birthday? What should I post on Instagram? What should I post on Facebook? Do you think this is good? And they make decisions based on other people's evaluations, right? So for you to one day wake up and say like, I don't want to care what other people think, makes absolutely no sense because you've been conditioned that way all your life, right? But what you can do now is you can now condition yourself in a way where you no longer care what other people think. And how you do that is by generating self-trust. Now, the reason I say self-trust is because of this. When you look at, if the opinions of other people are stopping you from doing what you really want to do, you would say that you have a fear of what people think. Also, it may seem, right? It comes across that way. But you have to understand that fear has three tiers. There's three levels. There are three levels to it. So you've got your surface level, you've got level 2, and you've got the root problem, which is like the problem, right? So somebody can come up to you and say, I have a fear of talking to girls. That's what it is. I'm afraid of talking to them. Right, that's the surface level problem. But if you dig deeper, you've got level 2, right? And level 2 is the problem. The problem is the person has a fear of rejection. That's what it is, right? But if you dig a little deeper than that, the real problem is the person believes that they wouldn't be able to handle the perceived rejection. They don't believe that they'll be able to handle the outcome of not being accepted by a girl, right? That's what the problem is, right? So it's the same thing with you when it comes to the opinions of other people. You don't fear the opinions of other people. You fear that the problem is you don't believe that you're able to handle the perceived disapproval or the perceived loss of love from your peers. That's what it is, right? That's all the problem is. So going back to the example where I was talking about, being afraid of talking to girls, what I'd recommend, just some of the people that I've coached, I'd always say this to them. I always say, like, if you're afraid of talking to girls, you need to go out there and talk to loads of girls and get rejected as many times as you can. Ask as many people out as you can. Because this is what actually happens. When they get rejected and stuff like that, they realize that, you know what? I can handle the rejection. They realize, like, you know what? I didn't die, though. I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? And they realize that they can handle the situation. And when they realize they can handle the situation, it builds confidence and it builds a sense of self-trust. When they get to the place that they can trust themselves, that fear dissipates because they realize they can trust themselves, right? So the same thing with you. You need to get to a place where you believe that you can handle the perceived rejection or the perceived loss of love or perceived disapproval from your peers, right? So it's all about self-trust. So how do you develop self-trust, right? And there are two ways that you do this. And the first way that you can do this is by learning to make decisions on your own. So, and starting off with the small things as well. Just by you doing this, you realize how often you ask for other people's opinions or ask for other people's advice. So first thing I'd say is learn to make decisions on what food you're going to get without asking other people's opinions. Make decisions on your own when you're posting on Facebook or Instagram. Make decisions on your own on what you're going to wear for the day. You know what I'm saying? Just those little things. Those build self-trust. Those build confidence because you start feeling like you have a sense of ownership for your own life. You start feeling like, you know what, I can actually trust myself. But you'll get to a point where you will make bad decisions, right? That's what's going to happen. I guarantee you will make bad decisions. But you'll learn from those bad decisions and you get to a place where from those bad decisions you'll be able to say like, okay, I've learned from that and now I can make good decisions. Because you have to understand the people who make the best decisions on a consistent basis are people who've made loads of bad decisions in the past or have learned from the bad decisions of other people, right? So you have all these different distinctions on what to do or what decisions to make. So that is step number 1. That's the first thing you can do. And the second thing you can do is this, is learn to exercise courage. So when I say exercise courage, I really put the emphasis on exercising courage because courage isn't a thing that people are just born with, you know what I'm saying? It's something that's worked, right? It's something that you can build in yourself. So you have to understand that courage is a habit. And just like any habit, it needs to be exercised, right? It's the same thing. Courage or any other habit works in the same way as an addiction. All an addiction is a very, very strong habit that's not serving you. So this is how an addiction is formed, so that you get an idea of how to build the habit. So for example, like if someone has a smoking addiction, the problem is that they've overindulged in this behavior, in this behavioral pattern. And you have to understand, like, so for example, the person says, like, the person is stressed out. They're like, oh, I'm so stressed right now, my work is making me very stressed. So in order to relieve the stress, they light a cigarette, right? But when they indulge in that behavior, what they're actually doing is, in your brain, it's creating neuron pathways to that behavior. So as soon as you're stressed, you light a cigarette, neuron pathway is formed. So it's kind of like a strand, like a string. It's like, boop, new strand, right? They get stressed again and they smoke again, new strand again. Oh no, I'm stressed again, I'm gonna light a cigarette, boop, new strand again. And before you know it, you've got loads of neuron pathways leading to that place. And it becomes like a tree trunk of neuron pathways because it's so strong. A tree trunk of strings, of very, very strong strings, right? So every time the person's like stressed, they automatically go and light a cigarette. So it becomes a habit, or as they say, an addiction. So it's the same thing with courage. When you're feeling fear, or you're feeling the pressure of other people, you're feeling like, oh, I don't know, I don't know if I want to be, I don't want to face the disapproval of other people. You act in a courageous way, so you do what you wanted to do regardless of what other people think. Because that, when you do that, you're creating a neuron pathway to the behavior of courage, right? Of stepping in courage. So it's like a new strand. So it's like boom, new strand. You feel fear, but he's behaving in this way. Once again, feels fear again, behaves in a courageous way. Boom, new strand, and before you know it, you've got a tree trunk of that, a tree trunk of strands that lead to courage. So, and that will become an automatic behavior for you. So every time you feel pressure, or you feel the pressure of the opinions of other people, automatically you act in a courageous way because you've built those strands. But in the same way that an addiction is formed, an addiction can be destroyed, but when the person stops indulging in that behavior. So relating back to the smoking, if that person becomes aware that, oh, every time I'm stressed I smoke, and they stop smoking, the neuron pathways to that behavior of smoking begin to die. So the neuron pathways slowly start disintegrating, so they slowly start going away. So like one strand dies, another strand dies over time, and before you know it, they're free from that addiction. Right, so it's the same thing with you. Every time that you choose not to act in a courageous way, you lose a strand. So you lose a strand. It's like boop, one strand is gone away. Oh no, you're not exercising. One strand goes away, right? And it becomes harder and harder to act on courage, or act courageously, because you're not doing it. You're not exercising it. You need to exercise that neuron pathway. It's the same thing. Like when you go to the gym, you need to keep exercising. The minute you take like 2 months off the gym, you lose strength, right? Because you're not exercising it. So it's the same thing. Courage is something that needs to be exercised. And that applies to everything else as well. It applies to passion as well. You lose your passion when you don't indulge in the thing that you love, right? Because the neuron pathways die. So you need to keep stimulating those neuron pathways to that behavior. That's how you build courage. So you need to start acting in that way, and then the neuron pathways come. I hope I'm making sense, right? I feel like I'm rambling. I hope I'm not rambling. But that's how you stop caring what other people think, right? It's about generating self-trust, and it's about exercising courage, right? And anybody can build it, right? So that is the video of the day, guys. I hope that's made sense. Please comment below, and guys, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and press the bell as well so you get the notifications when I do videos, because I appreciate you. So guys, I'm done. All right, goodbye.